Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 15 of The Greatest Adventure, presented by Legends on Paper. Tonight, we pick up the session with a group in the Druid Enclave in the Matu Mountains, just preparing to take a rest, when a strange figure enters the glen unexpectedly. He's a scraggly-haired old fellow, smelling of licorice, oddly enough, as he hobbles into the glade. The man is wearing a hooded wool cloak, like the other druids that you've seen, and a gnarled staff. His hood is up to ward off the cold, but a thick graying beard and mustaches stick out prominently from under eyes glittering with silent humor as he brings it down to rest on his shoulders. Greetings, friends. Mind if I sit with you for a while? He introduced himself as Rigby of Thistledorn, and as the group, somewhat reluctantly, tired and ready to get some rest, at this late hour, allowed him to join their camp. He seems to have a tale to tell. We'll find out what that is. So, Rigby sits down on one of the numerous protruding rocks that extend from the ground near where all of you have bedded down. And he says, "So Maynard is sending it a course, eh? Well, if it helps, I suggest you follow his lead, his suggestion to look up the man Lucius. He's a historian of an eccentric but somewhat beguiling nature. But you can trust him. You can trust him for sure. Tell him what you're up to, and he'll help you, for sure, if you tell him Rigby sent you. Oh, and he may ask a favor. Just indulge him. If you might, bees and honey, that sort of thing, don't you know?"
You seem to know a lot for somebody I've never met.
Oh, I apologize. I was sent by Elder Madoc to provide more clarification on how you might proceed once you arrive in Court.
Oh, that would be good. We've had none so far.
What way can this Lucius help us?
Now, Lucius is quite the influential fellow in Korth. He's very, very well attached to the Queen, but not in that way that you might infer. You see, he organizes all the important balls and formal gatherings for the royalty, and he is been appointed by the king himself. The Queen, of course, finds his company very charming and interesting. He's a curious fellow, as you'll soon find out, assuming that you go to Court and look him up.
I don't even know what a court is.
Oh, it's a city. Well, it's a kingdom, for that matter. The capital of it happens to have the same name, and it's one of the kingdoms in the Southern Kingdoms, just on the north shores of the Great Kingdom, the Great Sea.
What might we know about the Southern Kingdoms as general knowledge?
You know that there are two primary cities in the Kingdom of Korth. Korth itself, which is a few leagues up the river from the coastline, and there are multiple logging camps. They subsist primarily on the export of exotic hardwoods. They also are very, very well known for their craftsmanship with wood, furniture and cabinets and all things that wood might be used to be constructed of. So they export it in raw form, and they also export it in finished goods. Most of their exports take place in the port of Port Francisc, which is named after the royals as well, and that's their only major port city. So those are the two primary, and then of course there's lots of villages and settlements in between. But it's for among the Southern Kingdoms, it's one that is mostly aligned in terms of the feudal aspect with the Western kingdoms, whereas most of the other Southern kingdoms like Razna and Tare and Are are a little bit more, less feudal and more exotic in nature. So they're kind of that in between.
So they chop down lots of trees in Cork. No.
They do. They do. But if you have any questions about where you're going in Cork or anything that I might help you with, Dr. Madek has put me at your disposal. As late as it is, I'm sorry, but here I am.
Well, they did help us out with the whole undead army killing all my friends, so we feel kind of obligated to go.
Sorry, I missed it.
Yes, it was a lovely treat. I'm sorry you missed it too.
Quite the bloodbath.
Exactly, call it a treat.
It was sarcasm, dear. That's when you say something you don't really mean,
It's really hard to
but
tell.
you try to be mean about it in a nice way.
Is that what you've been on to me?
No, I'm just mean.
Good to know.
Do you have any questions for him, Kiva?
I'm just sticking with you.
All right.
I'm not a questions kind of person.
Only question Kiva could ask him is if he wants to fight with it.
We have to go find a crown, and then we have to use the crown to kill a turtle, and then we have to bring blood back to the fat man. I'm not sure if that's the order we're going to do it in.
I don't know much a whole lot about that, but I wish you the best.
You smell like
travels.
licorice. Do you have any licorice, dear?
I don't. Odd that you might say that.
Well,
It's not wrong.
I like licorice. The
He's paying a lot of attention to you, by the way. Less
The
attention
giant
to me.
trees didn't kill you, so I suppose you can stay there for the night. But we need to rest.
But I won't be staying with you tonight. And he kind of looks around. The trees, they won't bother you as long as you bring no harm to the Enclave or nature or the Druids. They're your protectors while you're here.
Oh, good.
We'll be sleeping in shifts then?
I don't
No.
think we need to sleep in shifts here. There are giant trees that look at you when you walk by.
Yeah.
They might step on bad people.
I haven't been this safe in a few months, so I'll enjoy myself.
Well, they do remember me a little bit. It'll be fine.
It'll probably be fun. I hope we don't die.
I would think you're the most relaxed here.
I do love the time I spent here learning with the druids, but I did leave for a reason.
I think she has secrets here.
I think all of us do, including you.
No, I'm an open book. It's just a very difficult book to read because some of the pages were written upside down and some of them are just bold and they fall out. And I think somebody might have erased a couple.
You hear Rigby scoff. I need you to make a wisdom save.
Well, we might have to attack somebody.
18.
Okay. You feel you feel a presence around you, and you realize that it is not so much. It's as much around you as inside your mind. You feel as if I won't go as far as saying violated,
Oh.
but you definitely feel as if something has broken through whatever barrier that you might have mentally, and it's just kind of
Okay.
touched your mind for a moment and then withdrew.
Let's make Mr. Licorice make a wisdom save then.
Okay, what are you doing?
Psychic Barb.
Okay.
I'm going to reach into his mind, and if he's not good at this save, he's going to take a little damage. 'Cause I don't like poking into my brain.
Okay. And
So his
you,
wisdom save is going to be against a 13.
okay. So as you begin to focus internally, now none of you realize any of this is going on. All you see is basically Rigby and Hildy basically just staring at each other from a few paces away.
Oh, he'll snap all her attention onto him. You'll notice something.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what they're noticing. But they're not saying anything at this point. So as you prepare to do that, I need you to make another wisdom save.
No. That one would not be as well. That would be a 9.
Okay. You feel disconnected and are unable to complete what you intended. And you see a smile just kind of raise on Rigby's face. Seeker, you have much to learn.
Hildy is going to draw her sword and yell,
He's a bad man.
No,
Batman.
relax. He doesn't get up, but he just, relax, everyone. I was just testing you a little. Don't worry, nothing harmful intended. And you feel a release.
No, he's poking his mind into my brain. I don't like it. You should probably go now.
I'll go, but I'll tell you.
Kalani!
Hildegard, I tested you for a reason. I know you're a seeker. I know you're looking for something and you may not know quite yet what it is. So I have something for you. Call it a parting gift or an apologetic gift for startling you. And he pulls out this small vial. It has a grayish liquid, more like a gel inside. The vial is clear, but it doesn't really slosh. It just kind of like, just bare movement as he flips it over to you.
try.
Okay, make a dex save. Or an athletics or acrobatics, whichever is better for you.
They'd be about the same. Acrobatics would be better. That would be a 7.
Okay. It just kind of bounces in front of you as you swipe at it and miss. It doesn't break.
That
And
looks terribly healthy.
it just bounces and lands in front of you on the ground between your feet.
Oh. Take care on the wrong.
That was sarcasm too, dear.
We're going to bed.
What is this?
It will help you. And don't wait too long to use it. Because it'll stick with you for a while. As long as you want it anyway. It's my gift to you. It's not so much from the druids here themselves, but something I think as a seeker you might find useful. I understand your quandary. I understand what you're going through.
On or in?
You have the means to figure it out yourself.
Oh, I hate this.
I'll let you explore it on your own.
Is everybody in this enclave just being vague on purpose?
Yes, everybody wants to kill us. It's like we're in Australia.
Yes,
Is that what
Exactly.
you're up
a little bit.
He stands and just kind of looks Charlotte. Sorry for the intrusion and the excitement. Didn't mean to get you riled up. Just here to help you with as much as I can on Elder Maydek's behalf. Get you pointed in the right direction.
Hildy's not putting her sword away while he's still around.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll an insight on him,
I
What are you
may have been
inciting?
wrong about
just to
this
see if his
watch
intentions
here.
are as pure as he says they are.
Okay, would you roll?
10.
10. Okay. Hard to read. I mean, he seems sincere.
Believe him. Size.
Don't drink it, dear. Don't drink it. And then he turns and he begins to walk into the forest.
I asked him on or in.
I'm going to bed.
He's keeping first watch on.
You won't need a watch. The trees will look after you. You hear his voice echo as
I
he.
thought they would. Till somebody poked their head in my brain.
Would you like to take first or the second?
I like to take last.
I'll take first then and wake him up when it's time.
All right.
You can assume whatever you want. I'll be watching the back of my eyelids. No, resist.
So we have Dick here on first watch.
I am on first.
Oh, sorry.
I'm on first. He's on second.
Okay.
First, second, third. But
All right.
I'm not taking mine for the record. They can wake me up and I'll go right back to bed.
All right. So your pretenses. Okay, and then Hildy last.
Trust the trees. Never go wrong by me.
All right, so he disappears into the foliage. You can hear the various nature sounds during the evening. Nothing unusual. Yeah, of course, Kiva, you've been here many nights, and although you're not necessarily an acquaintance or know everybody in the Enclave, this Rigby fellow is the first time you've ever seen him. It just seems like otherwise a rather normal evening in the Enclave. For any of you that are on watch, actually on watch, go ahead and make a perception. Roll a perception.
Good luck.
Yeah, Kiva's not the best at things. That's a 6 plus 3, 9.
9, okay. So dozing off a little bit. Dozing off a little bit. Nothing really stands out as threatening or concerning during your watch. Dick here, we're going to pretty much assume that you're just dozing off the whole time or sleeping.
I wake up until one of them, Kiva goes back to sleep, and then I'm just like, and I just make it a point to lay back
I
down.
think
Okay.
I'm trying.
You like throw a rock at your face to wake you up.
What?
The watch.
This was your home for years. Nothing's going to happen to us here.
Don't think no druid would dare to do something like that. But no druid I've seen.
Fine.
If you want to roll a perception, roll a
Stay up
disadvantage.
very reluctantly. 11.
Okay, roll a disadvantage.
Still 11.
Okay, all right. So again, nothing that really grabs your attention during the night in Hildy.
That's not great. That'll be an 8.
Okay, so for the most part,
Wake you up.
aside from the wilderness sounds all around you, there's no fire, don't really need one, since food has been provided and you don't need the warmth from it. It's fairly quiet otherwise. And just before dawn, there is a bit of activity at the edge of your glade where you're staying as you watch the druid from the night before quietly enter and seeing you up, whispers, "It's time for the welcoming. If you'd like to join us."
I'll nudge them.
They're having a morning ceremony, dear.
What?
Oh, I just woke you to be annoying. You don't have to come.
I nuzzle back in my body.
I'll.
Okay. And Kiva, you're familiar with this particular ritual, although you're a druid of Luna. You know, most of the rituals that you would be involved in, of course, would be during the night, around, moon festivals and that sort of thing. But you would be familiar with the welcoming, which is when the druids welcome in Suna, the sun, or the dawn every morning. And as the two of you follow through the forest, back up the hill to the stone structure that overlooks the darkness at this point, into the distance, you can see the stars and the moon is far in the distance. The first rays of sunlight beginning to come up over the horizon. And as they do so, you see dozens of druidic figures that are appearing in different ways. They're transforming mostly from different animals, whether they're on land or flying, crawling in, immediately transforming into their humanoid selves. And it's an interesting mix of gnomes and Hauflin, mostly humans, a few sylvan elves. No centaur that you notice, but a good mix of racial characteristics from representing the races for sure. And you see Elder Madoc there. Along, you don't see Kalani, along with the other druids as they begin to form a circle and chant a very low to rising tone as the sun begins to come up. You hear that there are a few prayers, there are a few, there's a couple of songs that are sung during this time over the few minutes that the sun is coming up, breaking the horizon and shedding its light upon a new day. And within about 20-30 minutes, the ritual is complete, and you watch as the druids begin to disappear back into the forest or down the pathways to the glades that they came from.
That was for Jolo. But he's dead now. His god didn't do a very good job.
The gods they do the best, but they don't always have all the tools that they need.
And they're probably not very good gods. Like you! I don't like you anymore.
The druid then.
The reason I don't like mornings. Why do they always get up so early?
It's when the sun comes up, dear. The druid appears again that brought you here. We dedicated a ray to your fallen comrade, your friend, this morning. Just so you're aware.
Well, thank you. He would have liked that. I have this now. I don't know what it is.
It looks like a vial with something inside.
Yes. The licorice man said I would know what to do, but I don't.
Licorice man. Who do you speak of?
Rigby.
Rigby. I don't know. Rigby is another one of your friends?
No.
Well, he'll turn. And no help.
Yeah.
Find Madoc.
Do you need help finding the glade you came from?
No, we're done with it.
Okay, well, travel safely. If I can do anything for you, I'll be here at the temple.
Did I see which way Madoc went?
Madoc? He's still within the structure itself, if you wanted to approach him.
I will.
Okay. Yeah, he's talking with various other druids. As you approach, he looks up. Good morning to you. You sleep well?
Well, yes, but your friend Rigby gave me this. I don't know what it is.
Did you hand it to him? He looks at it. Curious indeed. Who's the Rigby that you speak of?
I don't know. He's an old man that smelled like licorice. Came into our glen last night.
I'm not familiar with him. No, I'm not familiar with the Rigby in the Enclave.
Oh, now I'm perplexed.
They say where he was from.
No, yes, but I don't remember. Thorn Wistful.
Vesseldorn?
Yes, that.
You hear a couple of druids around next to him just kind of chuckle, and he just silences them. My dear friend, Vesseldorn has not existed for 500 years. It was destroyed some time ago by a raid from Falmoir.
That's good.
Of course, I imagine you know quite a lot about how that works. The Falmorians and the giants and other creatures that inhabit it. It's a sore subject, I'm sure.
Well, yes, that's a thing.
We don't have to speak of it. That village has been going for quite a long time. Perhaps you dreamt it. It's not unusual for folk that visit us to have interesting dreams.
It's not usual for them to be interested in dreams with who give you things.
No, did you witness this, Kiva?
He talked. Me for all intents and purposes, and he stared really, really, really hard at Hildy. And then he said some vaguely insulting things and gave her the vial.
Well, you're traveling with a dwarf today. Yeah, who knows what the extent of their powers might be. The mystical, arcane forces that surround them. Perhaps she was projecting. It's possible here, regard.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Well, in any case, I'll talk to the trees. See if they saw anyone strange in the enclave last night. Near your glade.
Strange talking to trees.
You should try it.
I haven't spent much time talking to the trees. They don't like me much.
We should go find our other friend and go to court.
Alright. I don't know if you know the way back to the glade. I assume I know the way back.
Yes,
to the glade.
you.
We'll,
Yeah.
we'll head back to the glade.
Yeah. As you prepare to go, this is based on what you just said. I'll be spending time looking through the lore today and tomorrow. If you want to go to the court right away, I'd be glad to send you. It's up to you. But again, as I suggested before, you may want to wait until I have a chance to gather potentially relevant information on you for your journey.
Well, what would we do until then?
You can stay here, go to Argyllshire, if you want to train with the
Oh,
Hauflin.
yes, that damn hammy. We need to go to Argyllshire.
Said something about a turtle?
Well, Hauflin are very small, and Hammy says the turtle's been eating them.
big is the turtle?
It's probably a bigger than normal sized turtle.
I can do that.
We should go get the cure. I don't think he's ever seen a turtle that could eat a Hauflin. I haven't. I saw a turtle eat a strawberry once. It was cute. His little mouth and his neck stretched down and when he bit the strawberry.
Yes, turtles are cute, but I like more furry creatures.
Oh, those taste better. Better than Hauflin, for sure.
What?
We're off to kill a turtle?
Woke me up 3 times in the same sleep.
Well,
I think you just
I
revel
woke
in,
you up. I thought you woke twice.
revel in the suffering of others.
I think that's considered good luck.
Like awkwardly push my body up and get my horse legs to stand up the right way for a moment.
Got a Charlie horse.
So they bring us breakfast, so we have to hunt our own.
I reach like into the grass behind me and pluck a few berries. Good. You know, give one to each of you.
I haven't had one of these in a while.
Oh, it's berry. Are they red? You shouldn't eat red berries. You don't know what they are.
I
Red
know
is the color of danger.
I know exactly.
Make sure you just make them.
I'll eat it.
I give each of you an extra just in case.
Thank you.
I'll eat it.
Make 10. Hold on to this. Just in case, you know, you're hurt. Someone else is hurt. Don't eat it now.
So you immediately feel satisfied, no longer hungry, and you feel a little bit energized, as you eat it twice.
Did I miss anything while you were both off Caliban?
Well,
Not really.
we went to a service for my fallen comrade.
Besides that,
No, that was all you missed.
I stretched a little bit.
The,
I'm ready to go.
no one. The NB, LB, the Gilby.
Remy? Oh, Rigby.
Yeah, no one seems to think that he exists or that he came into the camp last night at all.
We spoke to him. He gave Hildy a vial. How couldn't...
Well, apparently, the cryptic can imagine.
Imagine things into existence that other people can interact with.
I don't know.
Seems unlikely.
I think that might also not like her. I don't know.
Trolls seemed unlikely when we first started, but we all know how that went.
And I saw a corpse. Well, are we hunting a turtle?
Yes. You
Okay.
know the way to Argyllshire?
No.
We should go ask someone.
I just motioned or waved down one of the druids coming back from the welcoming ceremony.
Okay. So any one of them that you might inquire, what are you asking specifically? Have you traveled to Argyllshire? Or?
Which is the best
Argyllshire.
way to get to Argyllshire.
That's all I say. It's just
Oh, okay.
Argyllshire.
Just saying Argyllshire, the ones that you pass, you simply nod and smile, and yeah, it's about Hauflin there. Hauflin lives there. A bit off to the west on Mount Greeley. Are you going?
We don't know how to get there.
Oh, I see. Well, there's two ways that we go. We either go via portal, or if you're in the mood to take a walk, it's 2 or 3 days.
We don't like portals.
Yeah.
And,
I have a delicate constitution.
I'm pretty sure first this time that you'll be fine. We just have to run real fast.
I hate that idea. Let's walk.
It's 2 minutes or 2 days.
Maybe I'll take the 2 days instead of the 2 cats. I had tentacles.
Alright.
That's not natural.
It will be good. You're getting a little putty, Kiba.
You met her 2 days ago.
Yeah, probably as I'm like,
She's definitely a bear of a woman.
Is that west?
yeah, so they'll guide you to, or Kiva would know that there are various pathways to the forest. There's no roads leading in here, but there are various, basically game trails. Although she may not know specifically how to go to Argyllshire, just her interaction with the other druids would get you the information that you needed to get you onto the right paths leading along basically the northern edge of Loud Greeley. Right, exactly. And then until you do, which would eventually meet up with some local roads that you can follow into the village. But yeah, it's a good 2, 3, probably 3 days, considering that only one of you are on hoof. So you don't have your horses; those were left in the Shadowland or whatever it
Those
was.
majestic creatures.
Yeah, so you're basically.
This place or beast gotta eat.
Well, they do. I agree wholeheartedly. I mean, that was their whole intent.
Those things don't follow any natural order I've ever seen.
So on your way then.
We're walking.
Okay.
been outside of the druid enclave of this area.
Oh, this is gonna be terrible for you.
I was really just portaled into the enclave for like one training ceremonies.
It's not as bad as you think it will.
Hair.
Imagine sleeping in the cold rain every night and then walking in the mud all day.
I know you're trying to make it. That sounds like every home I've ever had.
Well, then you'll be comfortable with it.
Yeah, it's not as much of a culture shock as you think.
We walk.
The Niska, where I was spending most of the last couple of years, it never rained, it snowed, and it hailed, and it was always muck. I love the place, but it
Well, and just for perspective, you literally lived on the edge of the glaciers. Where you are now is on the northern side of the Western Kingdoms, which is not too far from the glaciers. Across the Sea of Dragons to Fomwar, and there's the glaciers right there. That's where the Tuatha have inhabit. You'd know, all of you would know this, just basic information. Even though it is the height of summer right now, it is still quite cold in the day and more so at night, especially when it's raining or it's windy. And you got that northern wind that comes down, every few days, pushing the cold air. And so all of you really, except for Dick here, would realize, what it was like even worse in winter. Whereas you, from the Alleghenies, and basically the tropical sunshine and beautiful beaches.
Paradise.
Yeah, exactly. It pretty much the apple trees and the nymphs frolicking in the surf and all of that. This is quite cold for you.
Music. I'm getting homesick.
By the way, just for clarification, how exactly is Dick here dressed?
Right. Well, he usually just wears his leather armor, basically like his picture. But if you're talking about his horse half, it's bare.
Okay. All right. Then you are quite cold.
Oh.
So we're like Canadians on spring break.
Yeah, I do not have cold weather.
Exactly.
And he's like the Floridian who went to New York for the first time to see the tree.
I forgot his jacket.
Got it.
I forgot his jacket.
That was a little too close to home for me. I know exactly what that feels like.
All right. So you're in the Enclave at the moment, preparing to leave. It is quite cold.
Yeah.
And to travel for some period of time, especially at night, you probably get the idea that, it could be detrimental to your health.
Do they have, I don't suppose they have any merchant or anything here. It wouldn't be like that, right?
Sometimes, more the traveling merchant type. They don't have like typical, they don't have like village stores and stuff like that.
Any of the druids leaving from the welcoming ceremony, are any of them wearing like a big furry coat?
Yeah, a lot of them are. They have the heavy wool or fur that they wear. As far as the cloaks, and some of them wear armor.
Yeah.
A lot of them transform into their animal aspect, and those are typically the animals that would do well in the colder climate. So
I'm gonna stop one with a coat. Can I have that? As a gift to the Sylvan.
he looks at you. He's got a long, looks like it's very long, dark hair. It's not from like a bear or anything. It looks like something much larger, much longer hair. Not a creature that you're familiar with, at least immediately looking at it.
It looks warm.
And it is, yes, it does look very, very warm. We can provide you with clothing if you need it, Cinnamon. This is, to my size, and I'm a bit attached to it.
What about the same size?
But if you would follow me, I'd be glad to see what we can get for you. And he takes you, if you follow him.
Okay. I mean,
I feel like you
wearing
would.
bear skin. Look,
I feel like you would hold that over my head.
I don't want to watch it
While you're
for the
sleeping?
next 3 days
What was
because
that?
you are afraid of snow.
I'm not afraid of snow, I'm just cold.
I'd probably like a coat too.
Not all of us have a layer of protective padding on our bodies.
You don't seem to have much at all.
You don't? I'm very lean.
Let's talk about the fact that you
Somebody
look like
will
you're wearing
walk
nothing.
past these two to find the coat somewhere.
You follow the druid? Okay.
Watch you streaking through the cold and complaining about it.
Streaking. This is. When have you ever seen a centaur in pants?
Do you really talk to centaurs much?
I imagine that by the time Hildy goes with the druid and comes back, we're still picking back and forth. She has the coat.
I've seen plenty of centaurs wearing a nice little horse blanket when it was cold.
I don't believe you.
But
Where have you encountered centaurs anywhere?
you've never been to Era that you.
Can't say I have, but I'm still suspicious.
Here you go.
Yeah, and that might be a foreign thing to you, being as tribal as your nature is, and not being specifically near or from a city, you probably have never seen a fully clothed centaur.
No. Most of us were naked
Yeah, I
all
mean,
the
well,
time.
so-
This is a family channel. We can't say naked.
no, we can
Sorry,
say a lot of worse stuff, but definitely not naked.
Should I tone it down on the cursing? Sometimes it slips out.
No.
No?
Sorry, I'll remember to stop fucking talking like that and keep to the good word.
Right.
I'll use Fuddruckers from now on.
That's why I'm like I'm at Catholic school.
So it leads you to a
I'm in
glade.
Catholic school. That tracks.
And in this glade, there are various, what look like almost like caves, except that they are created out of the growth of branches and foliage. You don't see anything here that's been cut or constructed. It all seems to have been grown. So if there's any shelters, they're all pretty much grown with the branches and leaves and ivy and so forth. And he leads you inside. You find it's quite spacious. There are a few light globes that are floating in the air in the dim light, and you see literally piles of different types of textiles and clothing. Take what you like, whatever might fit, whatever's to your fancy. And if you have any questions, Simbic here would be glad to help you. You see a neophyte, which you would know is basically an acolyte of the druids, in just a very, very plain, doesn't have the feathers, the thongs, the bones or anything, no tattoos. A young, probably 14, 15-year-old boy, in just a plain dark brown cloak, standing quietly by the door. And the other one leaves. Simbic is left standing there.
Are you here to watch me try on coats?
Would you like me to turn away? I mean, you're not exactly dressed now.
Do you think we're going to steal something?
Well, no, you
Because
take
we've been
what you-
told we can take what we want.
Yeah, you take what you like.
Why
Shall I
is he there?
step?
Hildy's gonna tap him on his rump with her staff.
Why are you mean to people?
Being mean to me. Hey, first of all, you're mean to me.
I'll just stand outside.
Yeah.
And he just goes,
I didn't sleep last night.
he bows to
You can
to
blame these
Kiva.
two. So when you're mean to me, it's okay.
We're working together, dear. He was here because he works here. This is his job.
I got 5 hours of sleep last night.
Well, would you like less than that tonight?
Point making. I give him a very
Hildy
bored smile as I leave.
Hildy will find a nice coat.
Okay.
There'd be like a horse blanket.
There are larger, they're like the equivalent of blankets in fur and also in
Rain
wool and so forth.
Okay, I'm gonna do this next. Just like,
Did you miss the rain? Rain it in.
oh no, I did miss that. I apologize.
So you're easily able to find something that will cover you properly and give you some warmth. You can, lash it down with, strips of leather, however you like, to keep it from, just falling off your back.
Yeah.
So, or lash it to your arm or the back of your arm, or however, would make sense.
I'll do the tie the sleeves so it drapes.
Well, no, I mean, these are just, there are some coats that have been made, but there are also just large swaths of fur and wool and blankets that you can utilize to, craft whatever you want.
All right. I'll lay a fur on my back and then a regular jacket for my upper half.
All right. So now you're feeling a lot better in terms of your preparation for the cold.
Any living thing can live in this climate.
So you're heading off to Argyllshire. You're heading down the pass that you know as you leave. Simic just kind of looks up at the top of his hood that's up and just at over at Kiva and then walks slowly back inside around Dakir as wide a swath as possible. You see several of the creatures you would know as treants, the animated trees that are just moving here and there. Some of them are carrying large monoliths, megaliths, that easily weigh 2-3 tons, maybe more, and headed up to where the massive stone structure is. And you realize that, this is a work in progress, not complete. But they seem to carry them on their own. Others are just being levitated along the way by various druids. And it seems like it's a big production going on at this point. You're met with a few smiles, a few nods of the head, that sort of thing, especially to Kiva, as you get to the edge of the glade. And it takes you about 20 minutes to find your way to what you believe is the edge of this enclave. Quite large. And you can see that there are lots of hovels and holes and, where smaller furry creatures come out and then they transform into their humanoid form and then move along the path here and there. But once you get to the edge, the forest sounds, it's a nice day, looking ahead, looking like it's going to be some effort to travel through these pathways lie ahead of you. And for the rest of this day, first of all, I'd like one of you to roll a d30.
You've got one, go ahead.
18.
Okay. So the morning starts out as just a beautiful morning. It's clear, it's not overcast, and seems like it's going to be a nice day.
That's the worst that could possibly happen.
Okay.
Why would you say that?
Just what I do.
And as you travel on, there's no rain. It's the temperature is actually pretty nice. It's in the 50s, and it feels, for all intents and purposes, like a very nice spring day. Perfect day for travel.
Yeah. 50s?
Yeah. For you, it's a little bit chilly, and you're thankful to have that extra cover.
Depth of winter, the oranges are shriveling off the trees.
This is unnatural. Something horrible is about to happen.
But the first day of travel is completely uneventful as you continue west along the pathways, making maybe a couple of miles an hour at this point. But by the end of the day, as the sun begins to go down, and of course here in this thick forest, it's getting darker much quicker than outside.
Before the day winds up,
Okay.
as it starts getting low, Hildy's going to look for some place, after having slept in the rain, with a rock outcropping or
Okay.
a protected copse of trees, someplace for them to get out of the main wind
Okay.
and rain.
Yep, go ahead and roll a survival.
Right here.
Yep, absolutely.
7.
Okay, Dickier is helping you, assisting.
Oh, good. Well, that would be 21.
Okay, much better.
So you're looking at one spot, and then I just kind of grab the sides of your head and force your head to turn, and like over there.
Oh, that helped. I had a trick.
So this far north, and you're still kind of at the edge of the mountains. The enclave is not far from Laugrilli, but it's not up in the mountains, so it's not elevated that high. There are you managed to find what looks like a abandoned cave. It's not very deep. It's pretty shallow, but it's enough that it gives you fair cover for the evening. And it's reasonably defensible.
The DM would say that just before we stopped.
Yeah.
Roll survival just to see if any other animal. This is a fairly nice cave.
Yep.
Is anything else living here right now?
He said abandoned.
Yeah, it appears abandoned as you walk up to it. You don't see anything in it, and it doesn't have that strong feral smell of something recently inhabiting it. But if you want to roll a perception, you certainly can.
15.
Okay. Looking inside, again, it's fairly shallow. It's only about 10 feet deep, and the whole thing is maybe 15 feet wide. And it does look more like an outcropping with foliage and rocks to the side, more so than a cave. You can see that there has been passing droppings, here and there from some period of time, maybe a week or so old, but it doesn't look like anything lives here. It's fairly clear.
Right.
Starting a fire.
Okay. All right, so you usually make a fire, and is there anything you want to do for the evening?
Just eat. Cook some,
Be angry if
some
that was
lovely sweet
extremely
potatoes
convenient.
and eat and sleep. Do you guys have anything special you want to do in the night?
I don't know, are we going to live off of trail rations or is one of us going to go hunting? Oh, right, your berries.
I do not have much travel without too much inconvenience.
That's fair.
Okay, but you're still starting a fire for warmth? Okay.
Oh, yeah, she used magic. As I was sitting there with the flint and tinder, she just came
Oh, okay. I
with
thought you were talking
her.
about the good berries. Sorry. Yeah, no, it's easy enough to
She did that
start a
too.
fire. Okay. And are you going to have a watch for the evening?
Heck yeah.
Okay. Just like before, or are you changing it up?
First watch. I hate waking up in the middle of the night and having to go back to sleep.
Alright. Interruption.
Okay. All right. So Dakir's going to take the first watch, and then Kiva, and then Hildy, right?
Yep.
Before we go to bed, I use Screw Traps to. It creates a harmless sensory effect that'll tell me what the weather's going to be like for the next 24 hours.
Okay. Roll a d30.
3!
3. Okay.
What does that look like?
Like, she holds,
Like, is there a little druid weather report? Like, oh,
It's just a sensation. Yeah.
it's like a little symbol appears. It's like a smoky symbol morphology. Like, it shifts from like a snowflake to a raindrop to a
that's
bright
cool.
sun.
It's a weather rock.
It's a
it's a weather rock.
weather.
Rock
And
is
in
wet,
this
it's
case, you
raining.
also get sensations. And so you feel the wind on your face. You feel that it is going to be a bit colder, and that the wind from the north is going to pick up the next day. So you're not feeling any precipitation, no rain, no snow, no ice, no anything like that. But definitely wind and definitely a lot colder.
Catfish break.
Which definitely would have been trouble for anyone that's not properly clothed in this weather. So
You know.
I appreciate it.
if there's anything else for the evening? All right, then go ahead and roll your perceptions.
I rolled a 17.
17, okay, for Dakir and Kiva.
Critical failure.
Wow, 1?
Yes.
Okay, and Hildy.
It would be a 6, but I rolled a 2.
Okay.
Hey, well, you know what? This dice does belong. You know, this dice challenge.
It's a beautiful night as you begin your watch. And as you get through the first probably 2.5 hours of what your watch is before you would, Dakir would wake up Kiva to take over. And your mind just kind of wanders as you look out into the forest. It's dark. There's no light outside of a few stars here and there, and the moon that once in a while just breaks through.
You get a little homesick looking up at everything.
Yeah, breaks through the boughs of the trees, and you can feel that the wind is picking up a little bit. You kind of cuddle into your furs a little bit closer, and for the warmth, and you keep the fire going, and then it's time. And nothing really, affects you, nothing concerns you during your watch. Then you wake up Kiva to start hers.
As it's getting to the end of my watch, I just start like mumbling to myself and just I'm trying to concentrate, cut it out,
Okay.
like things like that. And then eventually, when her time comes, I'm standing like as close as we are doing this.
Wait. Got it. Thank you.
How's it feel?
Do you know why throw the rock? Why
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but you seem like you've been through to hell, and I don't want to shake you awake because that could end badly. So
That's not a bad point, actually. I'll give you that. You might very well get stabbed. All right.
So-
I'll call a truce. You look like you've been through hell yourself, though, so.
very hard not to be angry by accident.
So should I keep throwing rocks then?
Only be worried if I'm glowing green and not a bear.
Fair enough, I'll keep it in mind. I'm gonna walk past, and as I go to sleep, I shake Hildy a little bit just to piss her off. I go curl up.
Hildy sleeps through it. She's old. But you do notice that she's glowing green.
Well, better not then.
So as you begin your watch, Kiva, again feeling the cold wind starting to blow in and snuggling into your blankets a bit, you doze off. And the next morning, just as the sun begins to come up, Nikir, you wake up, stretching, looking around, and you see both Kiva and Hildy snoring. Kiva never finished her watch and never woke up Hildy, and so both of them ended up sleeping through the rest of the night. But fortunately, all of you are still alive, and there's been no harm.
You're both useless, I say.
And as we begin this new day, we're going to take a quick 5-minute break, and we will be back and on our way to Argyllshire. All right, welcome back, everyone, as we get started once more with our group coming to wakefulness. Some having a lot more rest than others, considering that they fell asleep during their watches during the night. But in any case, nothing untoward happened. They all arise restful, having gotten a full, long rest after a long day of travel, as they prepare to head off for another 2 days or so on their way to Argyllshire. And so, is there anything you guys would like to do this second morning on your way to Hauflin village?
I'd like to scold them, please.
You may do so at your leisure.
I'll just scold.
You have to roll this gold.
No, just
16 intimidate check.
16.
I did not fall asleep on my watch. You may not scold me. Have a nice morning.
I saw you sleeping when I woke up.
I didn't fall asleep on my watch. I never lie.
Are you saying you never woke up for your watch?
I'm not saying anything. I'm walking.
So he briskly moves ahead.
Staff.
This is scary, man.
oops.
Disappointed.
Lily's gonna take out the gray stuff. Stick just a fingertip in it. Close it. Does it come out, or is it like Quicksilver, like nothing comes out?
As soon as you stick your finger into it, I mean, it feels like gelatin, and it does kind of, it attaches to your finger. And before you're able to pull it out,
Oh, this wasn't a good idea.
I mean, you don't feel stuck. I mean, but before you're able to pull it out, same time that you're sticking it, you're realizing you're feeling a connection. You're feeling drawn to it, as if you would recognize this as this item wanting to harmonize with you.
Ooh, it's a symbiote.
I had a friend named Eddie once.
And then when you pull your finger out, it just kind of reluctantly pulls away, but none of it comes out with your finger. Okay.
Keep that in mind.
I practiced my pan flute. I'm not very good at it, but
Oh,
All right.
that's horrible, dude.
You start playing your plan flute, and I pull mine out.
yeah, yours is probably mine looks like it's something made by someone who's spent a lot of time alone, bored.
Mine looks like it was made by the best craftsmanship Sylvan have to offer.
Oh, and so the sound quality is respectable. Is respective.
All right, now I need performance checks. For both of you.
Yeah.
Two lowest charismas in the party.
That is 11 minus 1, so a flat 10. It's okay.
13 minus 1, and I got a 12. I'm slightly better, but still not
Okay,
great.
well, 10 is average. So, despite the fact that it's a little bit distracting that the wind has now become quite strong and is whistling literally through the trees and distracting a bit from what tune you're trying to play against each other.
It's like dueling pianos, but we're really
Pretty much.
bad at it.
Yeah.
but yeah, among the force of a wind, it's really, really, not coming over well for either of you. So it is cold. I mean, this north wind coming down that you've never felt before, the other two expected, is just frigidly cold. So it just kind of whips the furs and clothing that you're wearing, getting up under it, and you feel the touch of the chill, on your skin, and it's just you're thinking, wow, fucking miserable it must live, to live up here.
I lost interest.
And according to Kiva, this is the way the rest of the day is going to go. So, for the next couple of days that you're traveling to Argyllshire, is there anything in particular that you guys wanted to discuss, do,
If I have a spell that will warm you up, would you like me to cast it?
I'd say no, but it's desperate times.
I don't believe in magic. I don't have spells.
Thank you for offering anyway. It's disappointing.
What a tease. What a tease.
Wait,
Respond to that.
What kind of animals are out?
Roll a survival, or nature, whichever.
I think they're the same. So 9.
What you're seeing is just typical. You're not seeing a lot today because it's so windy and cold.
Small.
Yeah, I mean, you're really not seeing. Most of them are huddled and out of the cold. You may see a squirrel here or there, maybe a chipmunk, moving quickly between trees, but nothing big.
Aren't you glad I'm keeping us flush with good berries?
Something. I'm a vegetarian. I was gonna ask them to hide on my body and travel.
Alrighty.
Would you like me to ask?
I could ask myself, but it looks like they're comfortable in their home, so I won't bother them.
I just keep traveling 24 hours in advance. I'm checking the weather stone.
Okay, so you'll check again at night.
If we're just going to be expediting travel, the next time, I assume Hildy might get woken up for watch one of these nights. When she does, she'll play with that stuff.
Okay, all right. So essentially 2 more nights of travel at your current rate, and by the end of the second day, as you rest and relax, if you want to roll a survival for just the rest of the trip, you can do so. Whoever wants to.
Oh. 9.
9, okay.
Rolled before.
Anyone else?
I'll roll even if the dice is cursed. That should.
Survival.
I'm good at survival.
It's a druid house.
Good thing.
18.
Okay. All right, so you're able to find reasonable areas to stay in. They keep you out of the wind. They keep you out of any, mostly, the effects of the cold for the nights. They keep you reasonably warm with a fire that you can set for the rest of your travel. And as far as the watch for the 2 nights, just go ahead and roll 2 perceptions for one for each night.
Critical success.
20?
Yeah.
4 and 13.
Okay.
Critical success and perception 14.
Okay. And then D30 for your weather detection.
24.
Okay.
Please.
Yeah, your roll high or low means nothing on this chart.
Yeah. It's like the wild magic surge table.
Yeah.
It does not care.
Yeah, so your last day of travel, you're expecting that not only is there going to be heavy winds, but it's bringing some rain, some icy rain the next day, and then that'll start to taper off to just kind of a light, miserable drizzle during the night. Fortunately, you rolled well enough to have reasonable amount of shelter for the nights, so you'll have your fire and you'll be able to keep warm, but just an absolutely miserable time to travel if you were traveling at night.
19 and 15.
Okay, all right, great. So just for the 2 nights, the weather the way it is with the rain and the wind, it's keeping everything pretty much at bay. You're not even hearing the movement of animals around. So it's pretty quiet aside from the wind and the rain itself, which is heavy that second day that you travel, or third day that you travel. But you're able to finally find what appears to be a road of sorts that's leading off to the west, coming out from the north, and you're guessing that it's probably the road that links up between Linpool and Cambria, and then comes down into Argyllshire, and that's what you're linking up to. Because it's raining so much, you're not seeing any other travelers. It's muddy. It looks like 2 carts could barely get by each other in the forest where you do find it. But as you move through the day further toward Argyllshire, you're finding that it's widening quite a bit as you get closer to the village. So, to backtrack a little bit on what you wanted to do, Hildy, with the strange vial.
Well, once I saw what happened with my finger, I'll put it in my hands, play with it, and think on it. But then I don't care if they know. But
Okay, are you going to be harmonizing with the item? Okay.
once I realize that,
Okay. All right, so I'm going to give this to you, but this small vial of translucent gray gelatin,
Yeah.
as you begin to harmonize with this strange goo, you're pouring it into your hand. Any of you that are around, watching this, you just see Hildy basically holding this gray goo in her hand for about an hour, just focusing, staring at it. You're not sure. It just looks like nothing's happening. She's just staring at this strange goo. But then,
Standard Hildy behavior.
I did it while I was on watch, so they can't see.
okay, so they can't. So that's it. So then I will just.
I'm prepared for Mike and Camille now.
Oh, okay, all right. Then what is happening is this gel, at the end of that hour, begins to slowly spread out over your hands and spread out over your skin, your arms, and then the rest of your body. Even underneath your clothing and your armor, you feel it just moving underneath your skin as it gets absorbed into your body until it's no longer visible. Initially, all the skin that is visible looks like this weird gray wet sheen, like a dolphin.
Ew.
And your whole body looks like that. And it kind of smooths out the wrinkles.
Dolphin, Hildy.
Yeah, it kind of smooths out the wrinkles. But,
Wait.
for anybody that might have noticed, you actually looked a little bit younger for a moment. But then it just gets absorbed and the effect goes away and you look normal once again. But once it's complete, this is what you have. You will pass it over to Hildy.
Yeah, I love hyaluronic acid. Retinol A.
Yeah. The forebear of retinol A.
That's the stuff that like burns off your wrinkles.
I don't know. I just hear commercials. I don't pay attention.
So, for those of you that, that was an experience that Hildy just enjoyed on her own.
I'll keep that.
The rest of you noticed nothing of any consequence the next morning afterwards.
I just checked the weather again in the morning. Hearing that it's going to be even worse the next day.
Yep, so you can roll another D30 if you want, and
It's a bad spring.
that'll bring you actually into Argyllshire, assuming that you don't make any 11? Okay. Any detours? Yeah, so the rain's going to continue. The wind is going to die down a little bit, but it's going to be frigidly cold the night of your arrival in, or the night that you would arrive in Argyllshire, which would be just before the evening, actually. And then continuing to lessen overnight and into the next day. So the rain is starting to slowly peter off once you arrive in Argyllshire. And after traveling for 3 days, through the cold, through the wind, through the rain, the forest finally opens up to reveal a busy town less than a league to the west. It sits on the northern edge of Argyllshire, and you can see barges bearing the flags of Iru and Lioness that bob at moorings, while crews hurriedly load cargo into their wide holds. Further out into the Lough, the iconic orange sails of the Hauflin fishing vessels grace the waves. They seem oddly close to the shore, but perhaps it's where the fish are. The town is unusual in that most of the dozen or so wooden and thatched buildings line the boardwalks that fronts the pier itself. But just north of the docks, cobblestone roads wind their way through gardened hummocks and grassy knolls and rolling slopes with small colorful doors and arched windows with matching colors. Only a few of the timber buildings rise among them here, and these appear to be taverns, maybe an inn, a mercantile building for the comfort of tall folk. Far afield to the north and west, the countryside is quilted with rows of green that stretch as far as the eye can see. And you can see as you're arriving late in the day, small figures move down several of the pathways between these rows of cultivated vegetables, whatever they're growing there, with baskets that are partially filled with the vegetables that they're collecting of one sort or another. You're not close enough to really see what it is. And it's quite busy. There are hundreds of short Hauflins that are moving around within the village itself, or town, as we'll call it. And then quite a few of them on the docks, where you see mostly human figures among them. And that's the way it looks, even with the drizzle of rain that you're dealing with, and the wind that kind of whips up the sails. It's all kind of died down at this point as you approach. What would you like to do?
Before we get close, Hildy's going to describe Hammy to them. Let them know that he likes to, that all Hauflin like to ply you with liquor, steal things.
The description that he would give you of Hammy is shaggy, windswept shoulder length, salty, sandy blonde hair, and big brown eyes. And he always seemed to have this perpetual smile. And he wore fine clothing, but not overly ostentatious. And he seemed to be, from what Hildy would describe, kind of a fast talker.
You said all Hauflins are like this.
Yes, very.
Very fond of touching you while they talk.
Broad statement, but I haven't met many myself, so I guess I can't.
Well, you've met one Hauflin, you've met all Hauflin. They all taste the same. I would imagine they all kind of act the same.
I'll let you walk ahead a little bit and
Do you often partake in flesh of...
That's disgusting. Don't talk about that.
I wish you wouldn't either, frankly.
Is it just me, or is she racist?
I think
She made the same statement about centaurs when she met me.
well, I've been tasked with ensuring that Hilda's quest comes to a successful conclusion, so what she is or is not is not as relevant as what she can and cannot do.
Good luck figuring out her quest.
Want to get a room for the night? But do you think that you'll...
Did you just ask him to get a room for the night?
Because
I get
it's
enough of that.
fucking cold!
I get enough of that from her, alright? And with
Well,
that,
she
I'll
has
walk
seen you
ahead.
naked, so.
What do you think I'm asking? We're all gonna, head down to the inn to get all of us rooms?
I'm aware. I'll be comfortable in the stables, though. They don't make bed frames for me.
And you wonder at the horse.
I've broken 2 of the human bread frames at this point. I don't see the point of even trying.
All right. The inn.
Heading toward the Tavern Inn. As you move into the town, there are several Hauflin that are, nobody's traveling up this particular road because of the weather at the moment, but there are several that are doing various activities nearby, and they all just kind of greet you. Afternoon. Don't so much as stop for conversation, but they definitely notice your presence and watch you as you pass by. I mean, they literally stop and turn as you walk by, watching you. I mean, there's no shame whatsoever. They're not trying to hide it, as they clearly. And you see the ones out in the field that are nearby also kind of watch. They don't seem to be overtly suspicious or concerned. Just curious. But aside from a friendly hello, they're not conversing with you at the moment. Unless you were to approach any of them, it's up to you. You can see the road leads very clearly, among these small hummocks that are just everywhere. You're noticing more and more and more of them, which basically just look like small hills that you can see for quite a distance in all directions except for where Lao is, and the various colored doors and the gardens and so forth. And then it seems like the area where the tall folk would stay, these few, 2 or 3 clustered regular, typical buildings that are very well made. They are tiled. They have looks like a darker wood construction. Clearly, they're designed to deal with the elements that are so harsh here in the wintertime. And you can hear, as you get a little bit closer to the tavern, with the shingle just kind of swinging or swaying in the wind, music coming from inside, and the buzz of conversation.
That's probably the inn.
You're drawing a lot of attention.
Well, that's because we're very tall.
You're very tall.
You're tall too. Don't you fret. You're tall.
I'm like looking up at you when I'm speaking.
I got you on the head.
You're also emanating some sort of green aura, which I haven't really asked about, but
No, that's a thing.
To my understanding, not a lot of centaurs really come into these areas.
not a lot of muscular bear women through either, I suppose.
No. I fit in pretty well in these parts. I'm just a strong druid. I mean, I'm not that unusual looking.
Let's all just agree Hildy's the weird one.
I would have to agree with that.
I said it.
You see a couple of sailors that appear to be fairly way on the road to intoxication, kind of stumble out, and they look over. Oh, Centaur? Yeah, Centaur? Look at you! And they just kind of hobble away toward the docks.
I look vindicated.
The door just kind of opens. It was like they couldn't quite grasp that there was a centaur, and then the door kind of opens as you can hear the noise of the crowd inside and the music. It sounds like it's quite crowded.
Mm-hmm.
I'll walk in.
Yeah, we walk in.
Follow behind.
As you move in,
Walk in, you clop in. It's
I have booties. They muffle my clubs.
you have noticed the time that you've traveled that the Dickard does in fact not have that typical horse clop that makes a lot of noise. That's so obvious. He probably the sound of his movement just regularly is probably no more than yours.
Booties.
So as you walk in, you can see that there are about 15, 16 tables. There's one long table in the center. There's a bar. There's about 50 people inside. Mostly humans. You see you see a kabooter. A couple of them. One is dancing on top of a table and seems quite drunk. The other one just kind of cheering him on. Both of them male. They're dressed quite snappily. Everyone here looks like they're either a merchant or a sailor. And they all seem to be getting along well enough. There's a few Hauflin. Most of them seem like they work there. A few of them also dress as merchants in these snappy coats and slacks and breeches with short boots that are sitting with other humans and others that are also dressed similarly as merchants. And then the sailors are kind of to themselves, but seem to not be as raucous as you might find in a typical port city. They seem to be kind of tamped down a little bit here, as if maybe it weren't quite as acceptable as other places you might have visited. As you walk in, you're immediately greeted by a young Hauflin woman who's near the door. I don't have any seats for you, but if you like to, settle up to the bar, you're quite welcome to. Why, you're quite something. Why are you glowing like that? Are you want him twice a day?
We're looking for a man named Hammy.
Hammy? I don't know anybody. Hammerite? What's the name? Oh, Mr. Bloxberry. Well, he's not here, but you might want to go down to his home. It's just at the end of the lane there. You'll see it. It's got a blue door. It's got these beautiful pink azaleas in front of it. Mrs. Bloxberry is very, very particular about that, so don't be eating them. She looks at you very specifically.
I need a drink.
Oh, yes, of course we can find you a drink. Would you like mead? Would you like an ale? Something stronger?
I'll take a mead and I'll consider it a gift to the children.
What?
If you give me a mead, I'll consider it a gift to the Sylvan people.
Oh, I see. And you know what? I will consider the coinage that you pay me for that said mead as a gift to the Hauflin.
That's going to
So quite, unless, are you trying to persuade?
Sure.
Roll.
Succeed. 12.
12. Tell you what, enough price for you.
I'll take what I can get. I'm counting out a few coppers or whatever it is.
Can you ride me up there to the bar? Yeah, can I just
I'll pay full price.
quickly?
I'll
Oh,
pay full
come
price.
on.
No.
Don't get sentimental here
You
too
know,
often.
I'd sooner ride you.
That might be an interesting prospect.
I think I'm going to go to a different bar.
That might be an interesting. We'll talk a little. What's your name?
Jeff.
Right, and Jeff.
He's Dicker.
I bet he does.
Thank you, Kiva.
I bet he does. We'll be talking to you again soon. Let me grab you. Can I get anything for you, miss? Why are you glowing like that? You taught today.
It's just a thing I do. Yes,
Right. You're pretty old.
I'm very old.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have to say it. I mean, it's obvious. You're pretty old. All right, well, you want something to drink too?
Yes, my throat is parched.
Yeah. Oh, is that why you're so gravelly and cracky, or is it just because you're old?
I'm very old.
Yeah. Okay, I kind of got that. All right.
Pretty.
I know. The centaur just told me he wanted to do stuff, and I'm not. You know, I've got experience, but not with centaur. So it's
Do you
not.
have experience with throughout the day?
No, but no. Are you suggesting?
I'm not suggesting, I'm just commenting.
You might be a bit old for me, quite frankly. I wouldn't want. You know, something would have happened, and you die, and then then it's just bad luck for me. No. Let me
Wouldn't
just.
it be worse luck for you if you died?
Oh, I don't think I don't think that would ever happen.
All right.
You're kind of scrawny looking, you know. You're tall, but you're thin. All right.
Wiry, though.
Yeah, very wiry.
Flexible for my age.
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. Wow. Well, the options are opening up for me today. And you, miss.
I'll just take an ale.
All right, we'll get that for you, no problem. And she scurries off toward the barn.
Gotten so much negative attention since I saw this journey.
One drink, then we go find Hammy.
So basically, you guys are like standing in the middle of the tavern. There's no tables available, but there's area at the bar if you wanted to. Okay.
The bars.
And pretty soon has the drinks out for you there, and leaves you to talk as she moves off the tables.
Thank you. You just warned me a lot. You seem to
I
propose to a lot of people.
like a pretty face here.
Do you want to wear it?
One could say I can't resist.
I'm just staring off into space as I'm drinking my mead, trying not to listen.
You should. Do you have a by name that you want to use? 'Cause, like, your name's Dicker. You can't really
I did
not.
not want that
Oh,
particular Hauflin knowing.
I'll lean up. No.
You're new to adventuring. People like to give fake names. But only to people they shouldn't give fake names, and then they give their real name to the people who want to kill them. It's very strange. It's
Well-
just a thing adventurers do.
What are you on about?
Well, Styx gave everybody a fake name, and he tried to use makeup, but it didn't work. It was raining. And Nihilus gave a fake name, and well, we know what happened to him. But he gave Hammy his real name, and that bothered me, because then Hammy stole from us. Where's Hammy? I need to go find him.
How much have you had to
My
drink?
Not all of it yet. Now I've had all of it.
Little Hauflin comes rushing up. Can I get you another round? Can you get some more?
No, we need to go kill Hammy now.
I'll take one.
What do you Mr. Bluxberry for? What's he done?
Well, he stole from my friends.
Oh, I doubt he's a very honorable man. I don't think he would have stolen from anyone.
Well, it was related to the turtle.
You'll have to excuse me. She's gone a bit senile in her old age.
Well, those age, I can imagine.
Yep, I'll take it to go.
And she does so. Well, just tell Mrs. Buxaberry what your concerns are, and I'm sure she'll make it right for you. She's a very forthright, strong, take charge kind of woman that keeps him straight, if you know what I mean. So, if you have any issues, she'll smooth it over. I'm sure of it.
All right.
All right.
Well then, let's go kill the turtle.
Are we killing the turtle or the... Did she say his name was Hemorrhoid?
Oh,
Was that his name?
Hemorrhoid.
Which seems to be appropriate.
Well, considering what she was asking and thinking about and tone of the conversation that you two were instigating, yeah, that tracks.
I wasn't trying to... The Hildegard's announcing that word yet? No, never mind. Let's get out of the crowded bar.
Often, remember, don't even take a nibble of those azaleas.
Let's start drinking.
Well, as you exit the bar, or the tavern, the lane that leads up to the Bluxaberry house, you can see the blue door that she mentioned, a good 50 feet or so down the lane. And then, of course, there's the port that it looks like it's kind of wrapping up for the evening as it's starting to get a little dark. And, of course, the wind is still out. The ships aren't leaving. You're noticing that the fishing boats are coming back in for the night. What did you want to do?
Just walk down the path to find the blue door
Okay. All right.
with pink azaleas.
Easy enough to find. You can see it from a distance. When about halfway there, you see a pretty muscular-looking Hauflin with blonde hair that seems young, but the same kind of scraggly blonde hair as Hammy. Open the door and go inside. And then a few moments later, you're standing at said door.
I'm eyeballing the azaleas, because now I'm curious.
The garden is quite well manicured and trimmed. I mean, everything is like in its place, and the flowers in the wind they're just blowing, of course, but they look like they've been very, very well tended.
Assume it's a Hauflin-sized door. So
It is.
Down and around.
Okay.
All three of us are very tall.
Towering above the door.
Right. Okay. Just a few seconds later, the door opens wide, and you see that same young, muscular Hauflin standing there. Can I help you?
We're looking for Hammy.
Hammy, my father, Mr. Buxaberry. He's not here at the moment. Mum, there's someone looking for father here. Just a minute. I'll be there just a minute. You want to come in out of the cold and the wind? Can you fit in?
Can
You can definitely get through, even Dick here, but you're like crouching to get through. You can easily get through once you bend and get through. The door is only about 4 feet high and maybe 24 inches wide.
okay.
And so yes, you could get through. It's just kind of a squeeze for
When I look through, does it look like inside we're going to be able to?
Yes, it actually is quite high domed inside, and you can see that there are inside the inside of the hill itself is a structure of what look like bricks and supported mortar and that sort of thing. And there it looks like there's a couple of the rooms off, and you can smell what to your mind the scent of pork that is being roasted, and it's just making your mouth drool. It just smells so delicious, and it's quite warm inside. You can see there's a large table, and there's another young man who looks to be about the same age as the first one that came to the door, as he kind of moves aside for you to squeeze your way through. And then there's a young woman that's over on the other side of the table that is just kind of like quietly standing. She's gotten up from her from her chair, is just kind of quietly standing and kind of moving off to the side, looking at you, not so suspiciously, is quietly curious. And then you see a woman with her back toward you, and she's got long dark hair, and she's pretty full framed. She's got a rolling pin that is in almost like a holster on the side, and yeah, and you see her thick arms picking up this roasted pig and moving very quickly and putting it on the table, and it's your regular sized pig. It's not like a miniature pig or anything like that. And the boys are like immediately start over towards the table, but then stop as they see their mother's eyes, and you can tell it's one of those looks that, don't fucking move, we have guests. And then she turns her attention finally to you. You can go ahead and lift that cloth.
Fight these halflings. Oh dear.
Very nice.
This is intricate.
Is the horse for you?
No, you can put your characters in there.
Yeah, I'm gonna flip the table.
Outside, there's a
put that one.
little cart, and there's a regular horse. And our map is in the round, so you can rotate it if you like.
Cool.
That is nifty.
Look at that way, so
We are definitely gonna
So the
murder
kids at
this
home can
family.
see.
Though. This family gonna get murdered.
Oh,
And so you can
not the family.
roasted pork looks succulent. It just making your stomach growl. It just smells so delicious. You can see the vegetables that are piled around it. Hey, just in time for dinner, so why don't you join us? Are you looking for my husband?
Well, yes, he stole some things from friends of ours.
Stole some things, you say?
Yes, and said we had to kill a turtle to get them back.
We've been having trouble with some turtle creature, something in the law. I don't know what it is. But there's been a few very unfortunate fishermen out that haven't returned. And matter of fact, it was, she kind of leans in forward. It was 3 temple knights that came through here about a week ago. And they thought that they could get the best of this thing. They went out with some of the fishing trips, and they never returned. We lost 2 of our people there too, taking them out there. So it's quite a problem for us. But apparently, and she kind of raises her voice, the folk in Iru and the folk in Lioness don't seem to care so much about it as long as they get the trade. So why don't you have a seat, please? Have a seat at my table, enjoy a meal here in my house, and tell me what it is that Mr. Buxberry might have taken from you.
Well, he didn't take anything from me.
Billy says, sitting down.
He's not going to poop in here, is he? I can't have you pooping in my house. All right? I'll be honest, I've only met 1 or 2 centaur, but it's only been outside. And I don't know what the protocol is for the centaur. I just can't have you pooping in the house, okay? So if you want to poop, you just, sorry?
50% chance.
Okay. If you feel the urge, you go outside, all right? While you clean it up.
I got you.
Very good. Please have a stand just there by the table, if you like.
All right, I guess we'll gather around the table.
Okay. The boys come over. These 2 muscular boys. The girl is the last one to come over. She just kind of quietly steps over, kind of at the corner, and pulls up a chair. There's like 2 benches that can be pulled out, and then chairs at the end, which obviously they would move the chairs, for the convenience of Dick here. So tell me, what's your names?
Well, I'm Hildy.
You're twice today.
Yes, I am. These are my friends.
And what's your friend's name? You look like a druid.
Kiva,
Kiva? Are you a druid of Suna?
Luna.
That's regrettable. Well, and now tell me you.
Take care.
Dick here. Okay, all right, so, Why are you looking for Hammy? He stole something from you? You didn't say, you say he stole something from somebody else. And why do you care if he stole something from someone else if he didn't steal from you?
Well, because they were my friends, and now they're dead, so now I have to avenge
Did Hammy kill him?
No. Lord Dormont, the king that never was, he unleashed an army of the undead, and they ripped my friends to pieces.
Yeah, kind of from the young girl. All right, well, that's quite a tale. Was Hammy involved in any of that?
No. Hammy just looted the bodies of, well, I don't remember their names, but they were smuggling weapons. He said he knew them.
Well, dead?
Yes, they were dead. The troll ate them.
The troll now? Well, fair game, I guess, if he's looting dead bodies. But they weren't your friends, though, were they, that he looted?
No,
So why might he have taken something from your friends then?
because we killed the troll, so he thought we could kill the turtle.
I
Thought
see.
stealing from us would be the only way to bring us to the village.
Oh, so yeah. So I guess he was trying to lure you here to take care of our turtle problem. That sounds like Hammy. You know, he's very, very resolute in that way. He hasn't come back though, so he was supposed to go to Yorwick. I guess that's where he is now.
That's very far away.
Yeah, well, you know, he's selling the purple wool that we dye and so forth here, and that's our main source of trade. But you probably know that.
He talked about it.
Yeah, well, we do quite well with it, but he's got a lot of stories to tell. And if you just tell me what it is they stole, then I will make sure you get all that back. He may not be here for another week or two. I don't know, but if you just tell me what it is, you know, then I'll make sure you get it back.
I don't remember.
So why the fuck are you here again?
I assumed he would give it back if we came.
I imagine he would, since you came, and you're going to go out and kill the turtle, right?
Well, I imagine if we get our stuff back, we probably would.
The stuff that doesn't belong to you.
Yes, it belongs to my dead friend.
Right, and they'll have use for it. I'm sure, right?
No, but I will use it to remember them. I had to say goodbye to Jolo 3 mornings ago when the sun came up.
And that does sound curious indeed. I don't know Jolo. And she's cutting
He
the
was a
pork.
troll killer.
He's a troll killer. All right. Well, so I don't know what to tell you. He won't be back probably for another couple of weeks or so. If you would like to wait, you can wait. And tell me where you're staying. Imagine you're staying at the tavern. The other
can
tall
we
food.
stay here? You
Huh?
seem to be a very good cook.
I don't quite have room for you in our small little home. I would, you know, certainly invite you back for a meal or two, you know, while we're waiting on him. But in any case, why don't you try what we have tonight? And the boys are just like sitting there. You can see they're just on the edge of their chairs. They're probably in like late teens. And at that, you know, she starts to carve it up, and she starts to divide it up among plates that the young girl is now put on the table and these basic utensils. And as the boys just before they dig in, she's like, "Stop! We'll be saying a blessing to Suna." She pointedly looks at you. I hope that won't be a problem.
I only know how to pray to Neve.
Well, we're going to do Suna tonight, if you don't mind. It's my table, and I would like to give blessing to Suna.
Jolo worships Suna, so that'll make me very sad.
All right.
Yay, Neve!
She immediately stands up, and you see she's got the rolling pin in her hand. None of that here. I don't care how old you are, but I'll bop you on the head.
All right, it's your house.
Holsters it back. And the two boys are just like looking up fearfully, like, you know, they might get popped in the head, and probably have a few times. All right, so everyone fine with that? Oh, good. And she begins this not so brief prayer to Suna. And you can kind of just feel the vibration of the tapping knees of the boys as they're ready to dig into the food, and they're just impatient waiting for her to finish. She finally does. And immediately they start to eat. And the food in front of you is available as well if you like to try it.
I'll take.
We will eat.
It's delicious.
I push
So
my
the best roasted pork
Oh, you
you've
push
ever
your
had.
plate away.
You push yours away?
Oh, to you? Oh, well, then
Okay.
if you push it to me, I'll eat it.
I don't eat corpse.
You're not eating?
I'm a vegetarian.
Oh, what are those? Are you all like that?
I have no idea. I get it from my mother.
Oh, all right. Well, anyway, we've got lots of vegetables, legumes for you. And she piles a plate with vegetables and so forth and slides it back over to you, removing the pork.
Mike is curious. When we were in Glade, you were like, "Are we only gonna eat vegetables? Isn't anybody going hunting?"
No, I said, are we going to live off of rations or are we going hunting? And
Hunting for
when
vegetables?
I was going to say hunting, I was asking more for you guys. I was going to say foraging for me.
Okay.
I'll consider it. I'll consider it
Might have been
vegetarian.
a slip of the tongue.
Oh,
I was hoping no one got that. Should know you did. Thank you.
So during the meal, it's delicious and there's ample enough for all of you. And the boys are not speaking so much, neither is the young girl. Seems to be the polite gesture of the younger folk that they are just allowing the adults to converse. And she asks you, many things about yourselves, where you're from, that sort of thing.
I'll have a polite dinner, and I'll tell the daughter Emmy's joke.
Your father
Oh.
told us a funny joke. It was not funny to me, but you might like it.
Okay. As you get about halfway through it, the mom, Mrs. Blexaberry, just kind of pounds her fist on the table. I have none of that here. I know where that's going.
All right.
Mr. Blexaberry has told me that one on a few occasions. Normally, it's to, well, I shouldn't say. One of my children. Anyway, keep the conversation polite, if you don't mind. Now, you'll be going out to kill this turtle for us tomorrow.
We'll check the weather.
Okay? Roll D30.
15.
15. Okay, so it's going to be warmer the next day, and the next night is going to get a little bit chillier, but the rain is going to be fairly minimal, and the wind is going to die down quite considerably. So, aside from the overcast rain, a little bit of rain, it's going to be a better day.
Like me.
Really?
Well, oh, it's a habit.
All right. Yeah, I'd say tomorrow. If we're going to do it, tomorrow is probably the best day.
Oh, I don't think this is a good idea.
Is there a reward for this turtle? I mean, we might not get your dead friend's possessions back, so what's the point of us even trying?
Well, I assume that's what you were here for. Didn't Hamlet tell you about the reward?
No, he just told us you needed help.
Oh, well, that's...
He might have told us about a reward. I
Oh,
don't
like him.
remember. I was very mad. I didn't want to be his friend.
Oh, he's a nice fellow, but he does definitely have his strange ways about him. I think it's from being on the road alone for such a long time.
I don't like strange things.
Yeah, he's just not, I gotta break him of all that after he's been on the road a while. It's quite enjoyable. But I think if you decide that you're going to go after this turtle or whatever it is that they're claiming it is, and you actually survive it, there is a reward. The town is offering 1,000 gold.
So a bit of change.
That's a lot of gold. If we survive, we should split it. I shouldn't just get it all.
I would never
give it to
assume.
you either.
I don't know why that thought would pop in your head, to be honest.
I've spent just enough time with my charge here to understand that very clearly.
How far out is this turtle creature?
I had no idea. But you'll have to take a boat, a fishing boat, rowboat, something to go out and find it because it's not going to come on land and to just fall dead in front of your feet, you know. And if it did, he'd be dead already. I'd hit over the head with this thing. She pulls out the rolling pin again. But you're going to want to go see Kevis. Kevis, I will just call him the head fisherman. And he'll be able to set it up for you. And you have to pay him, you know, of course, to go out and or give him part of the reward. I don't know if he'll accept that anymore. He's already lost 2. And so, you know, there's no reason for him to think he might not lose more with you lot. You don't quite look as hardy as the Temple Knights who came here so a few, you know, weeks or so ago. And, yeah, he's definitely going to charge you. He just kind of looks you over.
I do have a delicate constitution.
I am many things, but what I am most is hardy.
Yeah, well, you're hardy on a boat. Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, I'm not the strongest swimmer, but I could definitely take a while under there in the water.
Yeah, you better eat up then. This is probably your last meal.
Well, and it's good you're a good cook.
I am, yes, I am, as a matter of fact. I mean, man, look at me. Look at my children, how strong and hearty they are. The young woman is quite slight, but the 2 men, the 2 boys, are very muscular and big and thick, and of course she is, you know, as well.
Does the young woman look like her mother?
Roll perception.
17.
Less so than the boys. You see maybe a few glimpses of her mom in there, but you know, she's, even though she's got the darker hair, she doesn't quite look as closely related as the boys.
Does she look closer to the description of Hammy that we got? Or is she
You never met Hammy, so
unclear?
you only know his hair color and, you know, eye color. Hard to judge that.
Mm-hmm.
I like what you're thinking, though.
Yeah.
When the Temple Knights went out to slay this turtle, did they disappear across the horizon? Hold on. You say he's lost 2, but he
Yeah.
got the boat.
Well, no, I didn't say anything about boats coming back. The boats didn't come back. Of course not. The boats, the 2 boats, the 2 fishermen that were guiding the 3 Temple Knights out never came back. Is that specific enough for you?
Just making sure we're on the same page.
You're not feeling, you know, like you've got to go potty
That's
now or
what she
anything, are
said
you?
the first
Did I
time.
offend you because I wouldn't eat your corpse?
Yes, I mean, I know, not precisely. I don't know how. If I brought a horse into the house, I know it'd poop on my floor. I don't know how centaur are. You seem like a fine fellow, but I just don't know.
It's very disrespectful to me, dear.
He's-
Not
he's-
eat at your host's food.
I understand this. We have, you know, some of our own folk. They don't care for meat. I
Especially
understand that.
when we came in to threaten to kill her husband and she still fed us.
Oh,
This
no.
could be poisoned.
Yeah, I can't let you kill Hammerite. I mean,
Well, I don't want to.
I have to kill you first, and you know that would just be sad. The boys kind of like stop, dead, like frozen, as if
Well,
not sure what to do.
He's not here, so can we not kill anybody and just eat?
It's a wonderful idea, as a matter of fact, yes.
She could hardly kill us with a rolling pin.
I'm quite good with it. I'm proficient in baking, you know.
I imagine you could smack him in the head very, very hard. That might kill him.
Yeah, well, if he poops on the floor, you're going to witness it.
Tempted.
So am I.
I'll wait outside.
I think that would be for the best.
I go out and I'm going to grab one of the azaleas as I leave.
How's it taste?
How does it taste?
Pretty bland.
Allow me to Google whether azaleas are
Yeah, like
toxic.
I think the azaleas are poisonous, right? They're toxic, right?
I believe so.
Not poisonous.
Well, I mean,
I don't think they're any more toxic taking a little bite out of them than giving you maybe
The runs.
well, or a sore tummy.
I'll walk back in her house.
no, like, no, wait, azaleas, they
Uh,
can't.
Plants poisonous to horses. Azaleas.
Really?
Gray toxins are contained within all parts of these plants. However, the leaves contain the greatest amount of toxins.
Does it really say horses? Specifically horses?
I specifically looked up
What are the odds?
plants to horse.
What are the
And
odds?
azaleas is what comes up.
I rolled an 18 for my cons check.
Azalea poisoning.
So I got a
In
20.
horses, symptoms, causes, diagnosis, treatment.
Well, fortunately, since you are half man,
My stomach's in this part, I'm pretty sure, so.
I wonder if they have two stomachs.
Probably.
And azalea is extremely
Curious.
toxic.
How much do I have to eat in a day?
I know.
Oh, this line of questioning is going to get.
Yeah, this is getting into the weeds.
Okay, folks at home, anybody got horses? He just ate an azalea.
But you rolled an 18 con, plus 2 is 20. So.
Please post in the comments about whether or not we should be rolling successive Constitution saving throws for poison or illness.
Oh, Lord.
Like and subscribe.
Never realized how complex it would be to be, dealing with a centaur in the group. But you passed your con save, so you're good. That little bit that you tasted.
I just feel like. Won't do that again.
So, what are the rest of you doing for the rest of the
We're having
meal?
a lovely meal.
Okay. Yeah, if you stay at the end,
Grade in school.
I try to strike up a conversation with the girl.
okay. What would you like to cover?
Just like say just the polite introduction, what do you like to do when you're not what am I trying to say? So what do you do when around here? Are you more of a farming? You studying? Looking for joining a merchant apprenticeship or something?
No, I work with my father quite a bit. He's training me to walk in his footsteps and take over someday. Azalea, what are you talking about? The guy's illusions of grandeur. She thinks she's going to be something special when she gets older other than a farmer, but we're all farmers here. You don't know that. Farmers and merchants, this is what Hauflins do. She thinks she's going to walk about, she's going to travel, she's going to see the world. Is that it, Azalea? Yes, I think I would like to. Your father thinks it's a good idea too. But you're too young. You're not going anywhere for a while. You see that there's a little tension between mother and daughter there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, don't go into strange caves.
I'm a farmer. One of the boys pipes up. Yeah, me too. We're farmers. And we shorn the sheep.
For the wool, then.
Well, yeah, what else would you shear them
Purple
for?
wool.
Well, it's not purple when we take it off the sheep. Mom takes care of that. She makes it purple with her concoctions. It's dye, dear. It's dye. The boys aren't too bright, but they're good at what they do.
I don't. I've never really spent much time on a farm, oddly enough.
If you like a job, we can put you to work.
She's very strong,
I can see.
Well,
but she
let's see
eats
about
a little too much.
Oh, well, you need your strength on a farm. You've got to eat.
She could turn into a cow and milk herself.
You're up.
I call from outside. I'm just outside the door.
We'll see what happens after the turtle, yeah?
It sounds all right, I guess, if you live, So, anyway, I hope you enjoyed the meal. And I assume you'll be staying at the inn. So,
My plan.
Hamright shows up. I'd be glad to send one of the boys after you. I'm sure he'd be happy to see you. I mean, I know it might be a little awkward at first because, he stole some things from you, but I'm sure he'd be happy to return them, seeing as you're here and you're going to kill the turtle for us.
Well, that's an idea too.
Let's remember Cabbage, if you're going to go out. Cabbage can get the boats for you. but he'll want a piece of it.
Where do we find Kevers?
He's at the docks where the fishermen are. He's the head fisherman. Did I mention that?
You probably did. I wasn't paying
I know
attention.
she's a bit. You might want to leave this one back to you because I'm not sure she's gonna be helpful out there. It seems a bit frail. I mean, I know you're twice a day, the glowy, whatever, but most that I've met have been a lot younger and more,
Alright.
Well, Kiva, do you have anything else to say to the nice lady?
I thank you for the hospitality. You didn't have to offer, and I appreciate that you did.
Yeah, you're a friend of my husband, so you're welcome in the house anytime, as long as you don't try and kill him, because it might get a bit, strange between us. But please come back after you, tomorrow night, the next day, if you like, and enjoy another meal.
Before we head out, I want to quietly say to Azalea, when we get back from the turtle, I think we could have a quick chat. I've been in a position similar to yours, and I think I could offer some assistance.
Are you trying to say this without the mom hearing?
Yes.
Okay. So maybe during conversations taking place.
While she's grilling the 12th day, or being angry at the.
Okay, make a stealth check.
Stealth. Oh boy.
I'll give you advantage on it.
You fail, that's trafficking, I think.
Oh boy, I'm not stealthy. I wasn't trying. I was just trying to say things quietly, but apparently my hearing's not that good. Because that was a 5 and a 4 that I rolled.
Wow, any modifiers?
Yeah, +1.
Okay.
I'm not proficient in it, but I'm not negative stealth.
That's good news. Mrs. Bluxelberry, you see that she's got an ear out. She kind of takes note, but she doesn't confront you or her daughter with the conversation that's taking place. And the only real response you get from Azalea is she just kind of shrugs, and then has this way of looking down and at you, almost shyly. I'll be keeping an eye on you.
I'll be looking forward to see what you can do.
Okay.
Smile very widely, before heading out with the old lady and the not a horse.
Thank you for not saying that. That means off.
And as you depart, all of them are standing, follow you out and stand outside the doorway as you depart. And Mrs. Bluxelberry just waves, looks at you. Thank you for not spoiling my house. Hope you enjoyed the vegetables. And
They were passable.
I hope so. And then to Hildy, get some rest, dear. You're going to need it. Maybe he won't eat you because you're so scrawny. But you definitely need to eat more, and my table's open to you.
Oh, good. It was good food.
And to Kiva, it's okay that you're Drew Luna, but sooner's better. They all walk inside and close the door.
I'm not going to be nice to someone who's not nice to me.
You're not nice to anyone, dear. I don't like it.
Been nothing but pleasant.
You haven't been pleasant to anyone. You're very antagonistic.
Am I?
You are.
You and your friend here are making nothing but horse strokes since I met you.
Yes, that's what friends do with each other.
Okay?
I
I'm doing the
they
same
make-
thing.
I sometimes
She was
forget
not
that
your
you're not.
friend. She was a stranger. You should have been nicer to someone who offered you entrance to her home and food.
I wasn't sure if we were going
Mind
to
your
kill her
manners.
family because of you.
I sometimes forget you're not a talking horse. I'm sorry. that was my error. Shall we go get rooms at the inn?
Yes.
Yeah.
As you travel back down, it's night at this point, and you can see the lanterns have come out. The streets are well lit, and at this point, you can see that the winding pathways that are illuminated in the darkness lead quite extensively in various directions around the town. And there's quite a few people out. It's raining a little bit at this point. The wind has died down. It's still a bit chilly, but still it seems like families, couples taking strolls, moving down to the lakeside, moving from one place to the other in their nighttime travels. It's not that late, and as you get to the end, it's warm inside. The crowd has grown a little bit. Mostly sailors have entered, and it's a little bit rowdier than it was in the afternoon. The caboodler's still at it, still dancing and obviously intoxicated. Many of the sailors are fresh from the dock, and you can see that they're well into the ale at this point. But there's officers around from the ships, and they seem to be maintaining their discipline, at least to a point. And then there's your friend that greets you heartily as you enter. More drinks for you? Me and Jeff are going to have a good time tonight.
I'm
I might have to stay down the street.
2 rooms for the night for myself and my companion.
All right, we can get them for you. Toot the bomb to have 2 rooms. And you see an older Hauflin behind the bar. Seems to be doing stuff, but not anything productive. As the others around him are like getting the work done. Once in a while, he seems tired looking, and once in a while he'll say, tell one of the others to do this or that. They kind of like nod and smile, but don't really pay much attention to him and go about their business. Yes, dear, we have 2 rooms. You know what we have. Just put them up in the back. Fine, I've got 4 rooms left now.
I'll take one as well.
Throw me a pencil, please.
This table's gonna be cold tonight. I just saw that.
And so you're asking for 3 rooms?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so that's not, they don't seem to take any notice or curiosity or surprise that you would want a room as well. So they obviously have some passing familiarity with Centaur. At least some of them do.
No, I've stayed at inns before. I just find the bed uncomfortable and I don't see the point in paying extra.
Yeah.
It's cold tonight, so I will.
All right.
Looks like the weather will be getting a bit better tomorrow.
Oh, that's good news. That's good
Rain will
news.
die down and get a bit warmer.
I guess you would know. You're Jade. All right. So, yes, we'll get you the rooms in the back there. As Duke Baum said, he said it's probably full, but it's probably maybe 2 or 3, but I'll double check and make sure we have enough rooms for you. We just currently keep him busy. He owns the place, you know. But his wife died tragically about a year ago from the creeping death. And I hadn't been the same since. Not in the head, just not right in the head. Yeah, so we just keep him busy. It's kind of like a dog, you know, when they get to an age that they can't really, you know, do anything except just kind of be a lap dog or not really work. But they feel like they're working if you put a barrel on them. You strap a barrel on them, they feel like they're doing something. So, you know, we kind of do the same thing with him. Speaking of barrels, I probably need to put one in your room because you're quite tall. And, you know, if we're going to do some things later, I might need that barrel. So, I'll remember that. I'm fucking with you. All right?
I'm aware.
Because if we did this, you'd kill me. All right? You know that, right? You'd kill me.
Why am I drinking? I mean, what did you...
Oh, it did. It did. And she just scuttles off. The rooms are a silver night. And when she comes back, she takes you to where the rooms are. And you're starting to realize that the Hauflin have this really twisted sense of humor.
Picked up on that a bit.
Poor Jeff.
He picked up on Irish a little bit.
So, did you guys want to do anything during the night at the tavern? Did you want to?
I don't think so. I figure a fisherman's probably already in bed.
I mean, not unless, like, I take just go to sleep. It's cloudy, it's raining all night. I don't want to deal with this.
Get up early and go find Keevers. Or
I will have a few drinks with the owner that lost his wife.
Okay, all right.
I won't like converse with him or anything. I'll just buy him a drink and then grip him to death. Then I'll just take a sip.
Oh, you'll say that?
Yeah, I'll just say gripping death.
Okay,
And then I'll take it, like, just give him a knowing look.
got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only exceptional thing that happens is that he immediately bursts into tears, and a couple of the Hauflin servers kind of come rushing over, and they kind of give you this dark look, and just kind of scurry him away.
It's better to let it out. No.
Yeah, no, what's the matter with you? You just, yeah.
Let it out then.
I do share a few drinks with the soldiers, like the soldiers gathering down there. Just
Sailors?
sailors. Sorry, that's
Yeah, sailors and merchants are pretty
the
much.
sailors. Just have a few drinks. Just chat about like what it's like out there.
Darts.
Just like sharing stories and catching up on local stuff.
Roll persuasion.
Oh boy. Well, that's a 16 minus 115.
Okay, not bad. So one of the things that you pick up on is the sailors talk about what sailors talk about. They want to talk about sea creatures. They want to talk about this turtle. They want to talk about they don't seem to really believe it. They haven't seen it. They think it's just another sea creature. But they talk about the sea creatures that they've seen. In the primal sea or in the Great Sea to the south or wherever. But the one thing that you pick up on is a rumor about Lion's Gate. Mm-hmm. You hear they make some comments, and which leads to some discussion that indicates that something significant has happened in the capital city of Lioness recently, since the situation at the arena where the queen was abducted by the demons. Apparently, King Praetor, Eldaroth, gathered some of his fiercest warriors, his generals, his magical casters, a few of the higher clergy in the city, and they found a way, supposedly, to create a portal, and that they were going to, the rumor is that they were going to follow this portal through to wherever they thought the demons had gone to with the queen. So apparently his wizards were going to produce this portal within the castle itself. At some unknown location, somewhere perhaps in one of the darker dungeons of the castle, somewhere in the depth of the castle, they were going to produce this portal. What happened? Nobody knows. But what is known is that the day that it was supposedly going to happen, a great cloud appeared around the castle itself, the palace of the king. And this noxious, acidic cloud has enveloped it entirely since that time. It's been, according to the sailors, has been at least a few days. No one has been able to get in, and no one has come out. Fortunately, the prince was not in the castle at the time. He was not in the city. He was in Boers, another city in Lioness, to the south for safekeeping at a hunting lodge. And he has been returned to Lion's Gate since, for fear that he may soon be coronated as the next king if they're unable to retrieve the king. if he does not return. And so there's a big hullabaloo going on in Lioness right now, and apparently the Temple Knights don't know what to do. The generals don't know what to do, that are left behind. The nobles don't know what to do. It's just a mess. And people are unsure if this young 20-year-old prince will be able to take the reins of the kingdom so soon, if necessary. And of course, the sailors from Lioness lament that deeply.
Yeah. Toast to the fallen and then off to bed.
Okay, all right. So you all have your separate rooms. They're all lockable. You can hear the vague noises of the tavern going on. It's not 2 stories, it's all 1 story, but it's kind of built into the hills. And so you have some insulation with the earth between the rooms and the tavern itself. The night passes uneventfully, and the next morning, yes, as you rise, it's a rainy day. It's not quite as cold, and the wind is down.
I'm gonna go look for Kevers.
Okay, you all gather together to go together, or just Hildy?
If we have to come down at the same time, I'm just gonna go talk to him.
I mean, I will go with you.
Oh, good as well.
Okay.
We do.
All right. Okay. So heading over to the docks, it's very, very busy, and this morning it looks like the larger ships are preparing to depart. Some have already left. You can see that the fisher folk, the Hauflin, are raising their orange sails and preparing to head off. A few of them, dot the distance. There's a few others that are steering by that are. You can see they're working on the nets. They're doing and their lines and preparing to head off. Last minute repairs, that sort of thing. It seems like the wind dying down enough, but just enough to fill the sails. They seem eager to get out on the water, but tentatively eager. And you can see that there's one particular man, the Hauflin, that is just kind of strolling up and down the dock where all the fishing boats are, taking count of everybody when they're leaving and what direction they're going off into.
He looks like he's probably in charge.
But unfortunately, I think that you're the most charming one of all of us.
Well, I have that effect on people.
I'll stride over towards
Do
who we
people
assume
give
to
you
be
what you
in
want?
charge.
Yeah. Do people give you what you want because they don't want to deal with you?
Oh, it's because I'm sweet and delicate.
Discussing that, yeah.
I'm like a little azalea flower.
Oh, you didn't eat the azaleas, right? They're bad. I know they're bad for horses. I don't know if they're toxic to people.
Try one. Didn't taste great, but okay.
Why?
Well, I'm Kevers.
Spite.
On that note,
I don't know about that for you.
So, approaching the man, are you asking who he is, or is
Yeah,
it
well, you're
Kevers, or-
close enough.
Okay, yeah. He definitely does seem. He's not issuing orders or anything, but he seems to be. He's got a ledger, and he's keeping notes as to what ship boats are going out, whose boats they are. You can see that there's like names. There's about 12 different names on the roster. What time they're leaving, before dawn, at dawn, just after dawn, that sort of thing. And he turns at your approach. Can I help you?
Are you Kevers?
I am.
My name is Hildy.
Ellie. That must be for today. You're glowing.
Yes, I am.
Great to meet you.
A man named Hammy told me to come to this town and kill a turtle.
Mr. Bloxberry. I know him.
Well, he stole some things from my friends, and they're dead now.
What's
He
it got
said
to
he
do
would
with
give
me?
Well, I'm getting there.
I didn't buy any stolen stuff from him.
He told us if we killed a turtle, we could get our stuff back.
Oh, got it. Oh, shit.
Then I met his wife. She's a very good cook. And she said you have boats. You
You
don't
didn't make her angry, did you? He looks you over. Don't see any lumps on your heads.
know.
I hit you with that pin. You never forget it.
She threatened us when I prayed to leave.
Yeah. Yeah, she threatened everyone in the town before, at least once. I wouldn't listen to her. It's scary. Well, she's very sweet and she cooks great and muffins are incredible. I think she's proficient in baking.
I didn't know that was a proficiency.
There's that. So you want to kill the turtle?
Well, we don't want to kill the turtle, but it doesn't seem like we're left any choice.
Look. You all look like fine folk. I had 3 temple knights come through. Well, they were provisional knights. Okay, they had the silver fringe on the cloak. They weren't the gold. So they were trying to do a heroic, whatever the fuck they call it, so they become real knights. Okay? And so the 3 of them got in the head that they were going to kill the turtle. But whatever it is, I mean, no one really knows it's a turtle. I don't know why I can't call it a turtle. Don't have me, Mr. Bluxberry called it a turtle.
Yes, he said it was a big turtle that ate
He knows
Hauflin.
it's a turtle. He seems to know things. It's so weird with that family. He always knows stuff. Have you met Azalea?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you know, she's watching you right now. And he looks past you.
Look back.
More perception.
13.
Note.
23 or 22.
Wow, was it in that 20?
It was a 19.
Okay, all right. As you all kind of turn, you see next to one of the regular buildings, you know, that are lining the dock, you see, you guys kind of just, maybe not Hildy, but you see kind of a shadow disappear behind the corner. But you see distinctly, looked like Azalea was peeking out before she moved behind the corner.
Did I have the opportunity to make eye contact?
It was so quick. As soon as you guys turned, she... Yeah, don't worry, she does that. Don't worry, she does that all the time. It's no big deal. Well, it's weird, but I don't know. I mean, we were talking about time. Look, these guys came and they were wearing armor. They had big swords, axes, shields. I let them have 2 of my boats, sent 2 of my folk out with them, and they didn't return. And you guys, can you get on a boat? I mean, can you safely? Have you been on a boat?
I have.
Okay, all right.
It's a challenge. But
Yeah, I mean, no disrespect to you, sir. I mean, you look quite stout compared to, well, you look quite strong too, man.
Oh, yeah.
Were they wearing metal armor, dear?
Well, that was chain armor, you know.
That's probably why they didn't come back. If you fall in a lake wearing metal armor, you have a tendency to not swim very well.
That's a good point. Where the fuck did I think of that? They turn a boat over, they can't swim. They get right to the bottom like a road, like a rock.
I've spent a good amount of time on boats the past few years.
Yeah.
Way around it.
I've never been on one. Seems a silly way to travel.
I'm gonna
Why, it's a
love to
very
get-
silly. It is a very silly way to travel when you
Yeah.
can travel over land, unless it's a lot easier to travel over water.
it's a nightmare. I hate it.
Oh,
You have 4 legs and that are not built for swimming.
I hope we don't die.
I'm aware.
We need a boat that can kill a turtle.
Or at least that can get us close to a turtle.
Why not I do this? You know, I'm not real inclined to send you out with a fisherman again, but if you can row a boat, can you row boats?
It seems like what? It's like a trouble.
Well, I can either put you in 2 rowboats, or I can put you in 1 big rowboat. And in that way, I can send a couple of my fishermen out a little bit of ways, maybe, you know, make some noise or whatever that might attract this thing. It may not even come up. I mean, it's not like every day we're losing ships. It's just every so often, and maybe we can guide you to the place that I think the last ones were at when they got taken down. We've only found wreckage in the area up there, a little bit on the southwest side of the Lao. But if we get you on a boat, either in your own, but without any fishermen, and then we can have them kind of, you know, either tow you out there or escort you out, And then if this thing appears, they can get away real quick with the sails, leaving you and your rowboats to deal with it. Sounds like a plan.
I don't know that a boat that we could row would be big enough for the three of us.
I've got a big one, and it can hold, well, it can hold 7 Hauflin. So I think you could probably hold the 3 of you. If you want to all go together, or you can have your own rowboats.
Is that something you have to balance on?
Well, I mean, obviously, it's a boat, it moves, it rotates, you know, it's back and forth, current. Well, you got 4 legs, you ought to be able to do it well.
I don't think we like that idea, do
We
we?
can tie you down. Well, that wouldn't help, no. No, that's a bad idea. Let's not tie anybody.
I think we need one of those boats.
Don't want it with a sail, like a fishing boat.
The fishing boats are, the small fishing boats are basically, they have the one orange sail, and it looks like the ones that you've seen leaving have a couple of Hauflin in them. It looks like you could probably put 2, maybe 3 regular size, you know, the 3 of you, but it wouldn't have room for the Hauflin sailors to, you know, to manipulate the sails and to actually.
Oh, we definitely don't need one of those, but I bet we need one of those.
Okay, then you're pointing to like the big ships from Lioness, the big ships from Uru, the trade vessels. Well, that's got nothing to do with me. You'd have to go talk to those captains, and then they're too busy, you know, making money. I mean, if they are delayed by weather or turtles or not today or whatever, they lose money. I don't think they're going to be too thrilled about that. But you can try. I mean, maybe they'll take you out. But I don't think. Well, there's been no reports of serpents or sea creatures attacking the big ships. Only the small ones. I think that's probably because, you know, they defend them. Number one, and number two, they're probably too big for whatever the creature is. And maybe it's not such a big thing after all. I don't know. Maybe it just tips the boats over, and people that wear metal armor sink to the bottom. And then it eats the Hauflin folk that, you know, that happen to be stupid enough to carry them out there.
Oh, I think this is a terrible idea.
This doesn't. It's not about any aspect of this.
How much is it to tow us out in the boat like bait?
Well, that was kind of my idea. We could tow you out. Like bait, I guess. Yeah, it'd be fishing. Yeah. We could tow you out. A couple of our fishing vessels. And then, you know, you got oars, so you're not completely unable to move and maneuver. I'll tell you what, you give me 50 gold to rent the boat, and you know, we'll take you out there, and if you don't come back, well, I guess I'll be out of boat.
That's definitely too much. I feel like I could probably buy a boat for 50 gold.
Yeah, if the boat don't come back, you persuade him?
Yes.
The boat
Yes,
don't come
I
back.
am.
No, I'm out of boat too. We'll make a new
But
one.
if we do come back, you've got an incredible story.
That's true.
Says his 8.
Yeah, well, you know, most of these stories don't end well. You know, it hasn't been one that ended well yet. So I think 50 gold would be pretty fair, and we'll get you out there and, you know, leave you to it.
I don't think any of your stories had a Tuatha day in them. Oh,
That's true.
8.
He seems unmoved.
I can't imagine why.
Well, maybe he won't eat you. You're pretty scrawny.
The less I hear, the less I want to do this. Is there any way to lure it somewhere to a landmass? No.
I don't fucking know. What do you think? I don't even know what it is. I mean, you guys could be sitting out there all day, not doing anything but just soaking in the rain and filling up the boat with water. For all I know, nothing happens. I may not even be hungry right now. I don't know.
what if we pay you 50 gold to rent the boat, but if we come back, we can have half of that back for the story?
18.
Thanks. You know, I think I'd be all right with that. I mean, you bring back the boat, I got him back. I got a great story. Tell whatever the fuck it is, dead. And yeah, I'll be alright with that.
Do you have 50 gold, dear? Oh, that's not nearly enough. Eva, do you have any gold?
Probably, I just didn't write it down.
Hildy's got 34.
No idea how much I started with.
Would be the regular starting gold, assuming you took.
Yeah, but
You probably went what?
and we have
25 or something.
I don't think you start like 10 gold.
Or, yeah, so, yeah,
That's what I started with.
So
Yeah.
between the three of us, we have exactly 50 gold.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
We take literally every
That's all you have.
one person.
And 9 silver left. And 9 silver for change. for
That's the
dinner.
room. Yeah.
Do you pay him?
Yes.
All right.
We're like awkwardly fishing out our point person. So just counting what we have right in front of us.
Hildy's pulling out, wet wallet money.
He sits there. All right. 1, 2, 3,
You know, this is
4.
why I don't pay for food very often. Butcheries are good for every occasion.
25, 26.
Really bleeding a straw here, friend.
Damn it. 1, 2.
Have either of you ever been on a boat?
Oh no, it's very scary.
I had the board one to leave the Isle of Gades, but since then, no, it was a disaster. I hated it.
All right. I've been on a few trips on a ship. One of those was for violence. I do not like being the most experienced person in this area. It looks like I'm gonna have to be.
Oh, don't worry, I'll handle things.
I do worry when you say that.
59, 50. All right. So when you want to go?
Well, when do most people die?
Well, when they're old.
I mean,
I'm a-
the ones that they say the turtle is eating. Does he eat them in the morning or at night?
Well, just the temple nights. I mean, they went out in the morning, yeah, and then about this time, yeah, the weather was worse then. This is quite nice now, I mean, comparatively. And then before that, it was just kind of random. It was like, every couple of weeks, one of our fishermen would go, or some weeks swimming, or diving with the perils down south, or kind of random. We've lost, I think, maybe 7, not all Hauflin, but 7 Hauflin, and then maybe a dozen more not Hauflin. Well, the others don't matter.
Right, so anything we need to prepare?
I don't know. Do you have an old fish we can tie on our belt?
Yeah, we got fish, sure, absolutely. Look, as he goes over the barrel, you see lots of cut up fish.
We should probably do this tomorrow. What day
I
after?
know the weather is good today.
Oh,
I know you're scared.
I'm not scared.
Oh, I'm scared, dear.
We're gonna be fine.
I'm a little afraid. I want my boat back.
If it goes bad, I'll get you out. I'll get all of us out.
You told me you couldn't turn into a fish.
I can't turn into a fish, but I can't turn
Maybe
into a
she can
bear.
turn into a turtle.
You turn into a turtle? Can you turn into anything that swims? A platypus. I'll take a platypus.
Bears swim actually pretty well, considered. I can get you back on a boat, and I could row you back to shore. If everything goes wrong, and that's our only option, I can do that.
Well, if everything goes wrong, what would be dead?
I'll take a bit for that. And that gives me time.
All right, Keever, I think we're ready to go now.
All right.
Should we get with something to chum up the water? Maybe toward a specific spot so that way we could get the optimal distance or something?
We got barrels of some I can give you. I mean, and you see there's this big barrel full of just fish guts and heads and tails and gut, blood.
That looks delicious.
And these buckets next to it, and he just shoves a bucket down into it and pulls it up. You have as many of these as you like.
All right. At
Take a
least
couple of buckets.
Let's get some
These are for you, dear.
No.
we could We get to choose, at least with this, we get to choose somewhat where we have our encounter, or at least try to.
We get to choose where we die.
Most people don't get to.
I guess that's true.
What's the worst that could possibly happen?
Stop saying it.
Oi! By Luna Eyes, where you 12 a day, say nothing else.
Yeah, if it gets too difficult, we just strap a barrel onto his back. It makes him feel useful. I heard about that. There was a dog. Did you hear about the dog? They had that barrel.
Oi.
Yeah. So I got extra barrels if you need them. You can float with them too.
I'll take a barrel.
Yeah.
I'll take a barrel.
Empty barrel.
Empty barrel.
Okay.
We don't have a lot of room in our boat, dear.
Well, actually, you did. You got quite a bit of room
Oh,
in the boat if you want to take barrels.
Did you ever learn how to swim?
On an island.
That's a yes.
I learned how to fjord.
That's a no. Oh.
The
I
closest thing I can do of my body is equestrian.
The barrel makes sense now. Let's see about getting you a bit smaller of a barrel, maybe 2 small barrels on the side, like saddlebags, and they might act as like a flotation device.
One's fine, I'm fine. I know the boots have some capabilities to them. They don't add to me swimming.
They're just basically soft.
If I go in water, I'm yeah, right?
Well, you'd be like any centaur in water. So,
Which is now.
I mean, you would have some ability to swim.
Horses swim.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
They don't do it well, but they do.
I thought they could board, and is it fjord or ford? I'm getting
Board.
Sure, yeah, but they can
could
also
board that.
swim for a period of time.
Yeah.
And
it's
this is
yeah,
D&D,
why?
so you would have the same capability to swim as any other character.
There you
So
Okay. I'm less scared now. I'm still holding the barrel.
All right.
yeah, they'll be glad to when they bring out when they show you where the boat is located. It is quite large. 3 of you will be able to easily fit into it.
Nice.
And they roll over a couple of barrels that you can add on. They have buckets of chum. There's a couple other Hauflin that are helping him out, dock hands that they got. And then he's got a couple of fishermen that he gets into this argument with these 2 fishermen that are like late to leave. And you hear him arguing with them, trying to get them to be the guys that'll tow you guys out, into the Lao. And it seems like the negotiation involves some potentially cracked heads, but the sweetener of a little gold. And they finally agree. Considering that they're just towing you out and not staying with you when you start chumming the waters, and the potential of whatever it is comes up to, attracting this creature, assuming you do. And as they prepare everything for you, and you make your way onto this small vessel, a larger merchant vessel from Lioness streams out into the Lao, away from the dock, and you feel really fucking tiny next to it, kind of like, you're in a speedboat next to a cruise ship type thing, and it just kind of moves by. The sailors are looking down, just kind of like really just perplexed at the 3 of you on this small boat. And the Hauflin sail fishing boats are tying up to you. The only form of movement that this has, that you're in, are oars. That's it. Doesn't have a sail. But the wind picks up and is easily able to pull you out between these 2 Hauflin sailboats. They seem really efficient in the way that they move through the water, and the motion of the wind pushing them at a pretty decent speed, considering that they're pulling a fairly large craft behind them compared to them, because it's actually much larger than their fishing boats. And that's what we'll pick up next week.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you all very much. And we'll see you then.
You have to work.
Thank you, folks. Whoa. This will be interesting.
I will.
Terrible idea.
It's a very bad idea.
don't know how
I
this
will
is gonna
do my best to keep you alive.
I appreciate that, but yeah, I logistically, I
Yes,
don't know
you're.
how this is going to work at all.
No.
Well, the good news is
Hey, that
we can all breathe underwater. Oh wait, no, we can't.
Well, I was like, what?
at least both of you guys are next to me, so hopefully I can draw fire and you guys could hit it from the back or from the sides.
The next book, there's a tower of water walking that is similar to the Tower of Tongues, and no one ever realized it was there.
Water walking and breathing. There you go.
The Tower of Powerful Hydration.
There you go. Good night, everyone.
Good night.